one Jerry Jeudy, and that was some pretty weak sauce there in the end zone. Instead of a touchdown, it's an interception, and
and then it turned into a touchdown, didn't it?
Yeah, 14-point swing. So, I mean, that's why they're paying Jerry Jeudy to make those plays, and so I kind of really don't want to hear from him the rest of the season complaining about whether or not he's getting the football, because I just
can't let a ball hit you in the chest and give it away.
Yeah.
Shedeur Sanders just destroyed Jerry Jeudy's career in the most unexpected way after the Browns' brutal 31-3 loss to the Chicago Bears. And it wasn't because of the 3 interceptions or the historic collapse, but because of what happened on one play that exposed Judy as an energy vampire who talks all the trash but can't back it up when it matters most. When Shedeur threw a perfect pass into the end zone that hit Jerry Jeudy square in the chest for what should have been a touchdown, Jeudy let the ball bounce off him and turn into an interception that the Bears returned for points, creating a 14-point swing in a game the Browns desperately needed. But here's where it gets absolutely savage. Browns analysts Darrell Reuter and Andy Baskin didn't hold back, with Reuter saying, and I quote, "There were some dropped footballs on Sunday, the biggest of which coming from the guy who has no problem yelling and screaming and getting in someone's face when a mistake is made. One, Jerry Jeudy, and that was some weak sauce there in the end zone. Instead of a touchdown, it's an interception." Weak sauce. He called Jerry Jeudy's effort weak sauce on a play where Shedeur put the ball exactly where it needed to be. But Reuter wasn't done. He continued, "That's why they're paying Jerry Jeudy to make those plays. So I kind of really don't want to hear from him the rest of the season complaining about whether or not he's getting the football, because you can't let the ball hit you in the chest and give it away immediately." Damn.
To get the guy that the Broncos could not get out of their building fast enough. And that contract extension that Andrew Berry handed him is another significant mistake that Berry made. Because I'll be honest with you, I would not bring Jerry Jeudy back next season. He's not a winning football player. And I would argue he potentially is an energy vampire. And that's not what this team needs, especially when you look at the youth on the offensive side of the ball, all these young skill players they have. You can't have energy vampires in your locker room. Jerry Jeudy's an energy vampire, and that's a problem. And you don't get to bark at the rookie quarterbacks when you're not going out and doing your job at a high level on a consistent basis. That's the standard. If Jerry Jeudy was playing at the same level that he was playing at last year for this team, I'll give him a little leeway to take the leadership mantle and be allowed to get in to the rookies' faces. But when you yourself are not contributing, sit down, shut your mouth, and, take your medicine.
But then Darrell Reuter took it to another level. He said, "This is what he's being paid for." And he continues to show why I have been saying, and look, I have defended Jerry in many respects this season, especially coming off the year he had last year. But we're starting to get the Denver Broncos Jerry Jeudy. We're starting to get the guy that the Broncos could not get out of their building fast enough. Y'all, he just said the Browns are getting the Jerry Jeudy that the Broncos couldn't wait to get rid of. And then he dropped this bomb. And that contract extension that Andrew Berry handed him is another significant mistake that Berry made. Because I'll be honest with you, I would not bring Jerry Jeudy back next season. He's not a winning football player. He's not a winning football player. Let that sink in. A Browns analyst just said on the record that Jerry Jeudy is not a winning football player and should not be brought back next season. But it gets even more savage because Reuter then said this, and I would argue he potentially is an energy vampire, and that's not what this team needs, especially when you look at the youth on the offensive side of the ball, all these young skilled players they have. You can't have energy vampires in your locker room. Jerry Jeudy's an energy vampire, and that's a problem. An energy vampire. Do you understand what that means? Reuter is saying that Jerry Jeudy drains the energy from the locker room. He's saying Jeudy is a negative presence. He's saying that having Jerry Jeudy around young players like Shedeur Sanders is actively hurting the team's development. And then Reuter laid out the ultimate truth. And you don't get to bark at the rookie quarterbacks when you're not going out and doing your job at a high level on a consistent basis. That's the standard. If Jerry Jeudy was playing at the same level that he was playing at last year for this team, I'll give him a little leeway to take the leadership mantle on and be allowed to get into the rookie faces. But when you yourself are not contributing, sit down, shut your mouth, and take your medicine. Sit down, shut your mouth, and take your medicine. Y'all, this is a murder. This is a career assassination. And it all happened because Shadur Sanders threw a perfect pass that Jerry Jeudy couldn't catch. Now, let's talk about why this matters so much, because this isn't just about one dropped pass. This is about pattern. This is about accountability. This is about leadership. Throughout the season, Jerry Jeudy has been that guy in the locker room who has no problem yelling and screaming and getting in someone's face when a mistake is made. When a rookie quarterback makes an error, Jeudy is right there barking at him. When a play doesn't go his way, he's vocal about it. But here's the problem. You can't be that guy if you're not performing at an elite level. And Jerry Jeudy is not performing at an elite level this season. The analysts pointed out that the Browns are starting to get the Denver Broncos' Jerry Jeudy, the version of Jeudy that was so disappointing that Denver traded him away as fast as they could. Remember, Denver drafted Jerry Jeudy in the first round. He was supposed to be their #1 receiver. But after a few years of inconsistency, drops, and drama, Denver couldn't wait to move on from him. And now, Cleveland is seeing the exact same thing. Reuter defended Jeudy earlier in the season because last year Jeudy actually played well, but this year he's back to his old habits, dropping catchable balls, not making plays when it matters, and still acting like he has the right to hold everyone else accountable. That's what makes him an energy vampire. He takes from the team without giving back. But here's what makes this story even more brutal for Jerry Jeudy. Shadur Sanders threw a perfect pass on that play. The analysts confirmed it. One of them said, "Heck, the throw to Jerry Jeudy that got picked off because Jeudy had it bounced off his chest, and he did a terrible job fighting to make that catch. I don't know that Shadur could throw a better football in that situation than there." I don't know that Shadur could throw a better football. So this wasn't Shadur making a mistake. This wasn't Shadur forcing a throw into coverage. This wasn't Shadur missing his target. This was Shadur doing everything right and Jerry Jeudy doing everything wrong. And the result? A 14-point swing. The analysts said it explicitly. 14-point swing. So I mean, that's why they're paying Jerry Jeudy to make those plays. Think about that. The Browns are paying Jerry Jeudy millions of dollars, and in the most crucial moment of the game, when their rookie quarterback throws a perfect ball, Jerry Jeudy can't make the catch, and not only does he not make the catch, he turns it into points for the other team. That's not just a mistake, that's a failure at the highest level. Now, let's talk about what this means for Shadur Sanders, because this is where the story gets interesting from a pro-Shadur perspective. Shadur threw for 177 yards on 18 of 35 passing with 3 interceptions. On paper, those are terrible stats. His passer rating was 30.3. This was, by all accounts, the worst game of his young career. But here's the thing, one of those 3 interceptions wasn't his fault at all. It was a perfect throw that should have been a touchdown. And if Jerry Jeudy catches that ball like he's supposed to, suddenly Shadur's stat line looks completely different. Instead of 3 interceptions and 0 touchdowns, it's 2 interceptions and 1 touchdown. Instead of 177 yards, it's closer to 200. Instead of a 30.3 passer rating, it's, well, still not great, but significantly better.
And more importantly, the narrative around Shedur's performance changes completely. Because right now, people are looking at those 3 picks and saying, rookie quarterback had a bad game. But the reality is that Shedeur made some really good throws in that game that his receivers, specifically Jerry Jeudy, failed to help him with. The analysts pointed this out. They said, there are a lot of things to like about Shedeur Sanders. The 2 hookups with Isaiah Bond, both really good throws. So even in a game where the stat line looks terrible, Shedeur was making plays. He was putting the ball where it needed to be. He was giving his receivers chances. But Jerry Jeudy, he took one of those chances and turned it into a disaster.
That the Browns are seriously leaning towards letting Shedeur start again next year, taking those 2 draft picks and moving in a different direction rather than grabbing a quarterback early on, although they're doing an excellent job of trying to fight for the number 1 overall pick. So I wonder how that's going to play out.
Well, the dream scenario for me, and I think I've said this with you and Jeff.
And here's why this destroys Jerry Jeudy's career. Because now, every time he tries to hold someone else accountable, every time he gets in a rookie's face, every time he complains about not getting targets, people are going to remember this moment. They're going to remember that when Shadur Sanders threw him a perfect ball in the end zone, he dropped it and turned it into a 14-point swing. They're going to remember that Browns analysts called him an energy vampire who's not a winning football player. They're going to remember that the same guy who loves to bark at others couldn't back it up when it mattered most. Darrell Reuter summed it up perfectly when he said, if Jerry Jeudy was playing at the same level that he was playing at last year for this team, I'll give him a little leeway to take the leadership mantle on and be allowed to get into the rookie faces. But when you yourself are not contributing, sit down, shut your mouth, and take your medicine. That is the standard. If you want to be a leader, if you want to hold others accountable, if you want to bark at rookie quarterbacks, you better be performing at an elite level yourself. And Jerry Jeudy is not. He's playing like the Denver Broncos version of himself, the version that Denver couldn't wait to trade away, the version that makes you wonder why Andrew Berry gave him a contract extension in the first place. So here's my question for you. Did Shadur Sanders' perfect throw to Jerry Jeudy that turned into a dropped touchdown and 14-point swing expose Jeudy as an energy vampire who can't back up his trash talk with actual production? Should the Browns cut Jerry Jeudy after this season like the analysts suggested, or does he deserve another chance? And when you have a receiver who doesn't get to bark at rookie quarterbacks when you're not doing your job at a high level, how can you keep him around young talent like Shedeur Sanders, who's trying to develop? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because Jerry Jeudy just got destroyed by Browns analysts after proving he's not a winning football player. If you believe Shedeur deserves better weapons than a guy who drops perfectly thrown touchdowns, smash that subscribe button. This wasn't just a bad game for Judy. This was the moment everyone realized he's the same player Denver couldn't wait to get rid of.